What is up, everybody? It is your boy James Eakes, and I am back with another great team report video for you guys. So we recently had the second Streamers Cup over on Twitch, and this time we had 16 participants instead of 8, and I ended up getting 7th. You can find all the VODs here on my channel, and yeah, I always try really hard for the Streamers Cup. You know, I always want to show you guys what I've got. So I think the team that I came up with my good friends Scott and Devin, shout outs to them, was really strong. It was centered around countering Sun and Cinderella's hyper offense, like Cinderella's Rillaboom Whimsicott stuff. That was really plaguing the beginning of the Season 5 meta, because this tournament did happen a few weeks ago. So that's the meta that was really popular back then. We really wanted to counter it, and I think we did an amazing job at that. And it ended up having Magnezone be the star of the show, and Magnezone is a super cool Pokemon, so I can't wait to share with you guys how Magnezone came together and was just totally bodying people, so it was really cool. And I mean, we climbed all the way to rank 27 on the ladder with this team. We went on a 13-game win streak over on the stream, so this team is super solid. It does have its weaknesses. I will let you guys know about those during the video, and then, you know, give recommendations for some updates that we can make to make the team even better, just like I did in my Porygon Z video. So guys, before we jump in, I want to let you know that I stream 5 days a week over on Twitch, so go drop a follow. The link is in the description, and guys, like this video, drop a comment, you know, all that stuff will help out your boy a lot. So guys, let's get into it. When starting to build this team, I really wanted to counter Cinderella's hyper offense and Sun team, and we pretty much decided that Gyarados and INCINEROAR double intimidate. That core did extremely well against both. They both have very strong defensive typing against Sun, and Gyarados cannot be hit super effectively by your standard physical Cinderace. You also intimidate Cinderace right off the bat, you know, puts you in a good starting position. And then, of course, max speed Jolly Gyarados is 1 point faster than max speed Venusaur, outside of Sun, of course. And then we can rip Venusaur apart with Max Airstream. We can force a weather change with Max Geyser. And yeah, Gyarados is honestly just an amazing Pokemon against Sun right now. And then so let's get into the next part of the core, INCINEROAR. So as I'm sure all of you guys know, INCINEROAR is very bulky. It provided a second Intimidate, which was very nice. Not a lot of people were running Defiant stuff at the beginning of the format, and then Fake Out, of course, is amazing for helping set up and get into a great position. It's just what Gyarados wanted, was a Fake Out and an Intimidator to support him even more. And then SNARL on INCINEROAR, guys, is an amazing option against Sun, especially if you're in Assault Vest INCINEROAR, which we were. Assault Vest, SNARL, INCINEROAR really puts a dent in Sun. It really stops them from doing what they wanted to do. So we knew that SNARL Incin was going to be great, and then we also wanted Burning Jealousy to counter Cinderace even further. If they go for Max Knuckle, Max Steel Spike, Max Airstream, they are going to end up getting burned. But we'll go into items and movesets just a little bit later. Next up, we wanted another Pokemon that was really good against Sun, and then came Dragapult. Dragapult resists both grass and fire. He outspeeds Venusaur in the Sun at +1 speed, so if I were to get a Dragon Dance up or a Max Airstream, I would then outspeed Venusaur again. But the problem kind of arose against opposing Dragapult, and that's when we decided to go with our own Togekiss. Obviously, Togekiss and Dragapult have been a very common core in this meta for good reason. They complement each other beautifully, and Togekiss just helped make that Dragapult mirror matchup that much easier. We didn't have to rely on speed ties. We had the big fairy follow me action to help us get through that as best we can. And I knew when I was adding Togekiss to the team that I really wanted the flex option of not being just a Scope Lens Togekiss or being just a defensive Berry Togekiss. I kind of wanted to try and mix both and be a bulky Scope Lens Kiss. So once again, we'll get into the details of that in just a little bit. At this point, we knew we had a really strong core, but there were a few matchups that we were still kind of having trouble with, such as bulky Waters, Lapras, and even opposing Gyarados in certain instances. So we thought Magnezone fit this role perfectly. His Steel Electric typing was honestly amazing for our current team that was a little weak to Rock and Electric together. He's also quite slow, which made our opposing Trick Room matchup that much less scary. People might be, you know, afraid to set up Trick Room in the face of Magnezone. And then the ability to Max Steel Spike, get up a bunch of defense boosts, and then Body Press was also really scary for teams to deal with. And then lastly, we felt like we needed another supporter disruptor, and that brought Amoonguss. When I came up with the idea for Amoonguss, I noticed that we did not have a focus sash taken up yet on our team, which is a very great item in VGC 2020. And we had 3 different max airstreamers. I thought we should go with focus sash, max speed Amoonguss. And I have to say, guys, it was godlike. Its typing completed a nice fire water grass core, and all of our attackers loved redirection support. Max speed Amoonguss hits 90 speed, which can outspeed lots of Tyranitar, Incineroar, and Lapras that are not invested a ton in speed. And then at +1 speed, so from a max airstream, Amoonguss hits 135 speed, which is speed tying with max speed Venusaur and Togekiss, just for an example. So this mushroom was moving fast. So guys, let's get into a little individual breakdown of each Pokemon. Looking at our Gyarados set, I think it does look pretty simple at first, but I think the decision to be Intimidate and Life Orb was a very cool decision on our Gyarados. Most offensive Gyarados opt to be Moxie, try to get those attack boosts and sweep, but the strength of Intimidate right now cannot be understated. You know, we really wanted another Intimidate to slow down things like Cinderace, like Tyranitar, Excadrill, and since there's just so many physical attackers right now in the meta, and then we knew with strong positioning, we could get Gyarados to sweep teams easy, even without Moxie. So I thought the decision for Life Orb for that big damage, Intimidate for the support, was the perfect balance of what we needed for this team. Max speed, of course, was to outspeed Venusaur at max speed, and then a pretty standard move set with Power Whip and Protect. Power Whip to hit those bulky waters, such as Milotic, Lapras, Blastoise, etc. At first we had Burning Jealousy, but the lack of big damage output from something like Flare Blitz was seriously missed. Pokemon such as Excadrill, Amoonguss could be really hard to bust through. Even when we have Incineroar sitting on the field, a Pokemon that usually can do a ton of damage to them, we just really couldn't. You know, Burning Jealousy, the burn is nice, but the damage was really missing. And then we even had kind of a negative synergy thing going on with Amoonguss, because, you know, if we were trying to get a Burning Jealousy burn, we couldn't put them to sleep. So there was almost too much status condition going on the team. So in the future, I would definitely recommend changing this to Flare Blitz like I did in this set right now. And then with this spread, we live a -1 high jump kick from Cinderace or a neutral attack max knuckle from Cinderace. So this is a very physically bulky Incineroar. And then we wanted to be very fast. You know, 68 speed EV puts us at 89 speed, which is still quite fast, but 1 speed slower than our own Amoonguss. And then our special defense was already very high with the Assault Vest. So another reason why we went into more physical defense. And then, yeah, obviously Snarl, U-turn, and Fake Out, very great positioning tools. Since we had our Life Orb taken on Gyarados and no real way to self-proc a weakness policy, we wanted to get creative with Dragon Ball, and I cannot tell you how much we wanted to counter Sun, so we went with Safety Goggles Dragon Ball. Unlike Incineroar, Venusaurs are gonna want to commonly go for a Sleep Powder, turn 1 into Dragon Ball, you know, by switching in Torkoal, getting up the Sun, and then going for the Sleep Powder. And Safety Goggles stopped that option completely. A Sleep Powder or a Spore into Dragon Ball can sometimes just spell doom for the entire game for the enemy team. And once again, the EV spread, this Dragon Ball outspeeds Venusaur at +1 speed, max attack, and then the rest is in bulk. We survive a max Phantasm or a max Whirlwind from opposing Dragon Balls 100% of the time, which is very nice, unless they are Life Orb. But we also survive max Darkness from Life Orb Cinderace 87.5% of the time, so that is a very nice physical calc to know. And then I personally chose Dragon Claw because I liked the option for the big single target damage. I feel like Dragon Darts, sometimes when it's doing the spread damage, you would have rather had more damage into one target than the slightly less damage into 2 targets. But looking back, Dragon Darts might have been better. It's kind of up to personal preference, so you do you. And then the speed, guys, actually, while it does outspeed Venusaur at +1, it is actually 1 point slower than Talonflame. So in the future, maybe we could take a little bit out of attack and boost up the speed by 2 just to make sure that we're faster than Talonflames. When Togekiss was added, I knew we wanted a follow me option, but I also wanted to have a lot of offensive pressure. Incineroar with Burning Jealousy at the time was not doing very much damage, Dragapult was only really doing a lot of damage after a Dragon Dance or if he was our Dynamax, and then so I knew we wanted more damage on the team, so I wanted to be a Scope Lens Follow Me Togekiss. And the problem with Scope Lens to Follow Me Togekiss is usually our people just go max special attack, max speed, and then they are pretty much just a Follow Me and Die Pokemon when they have to use Follow Me, and then they are a great sweeper. But I wanted the flex option of being a good Follow Me Pokemon and a good sweeping Pokemon, and that's what this EV spread aimed to do. We have enough physical bulk to survive a max Steel Spike from Cinderace at -1. Our speed is just enough to be faster than most other bulky Togekiss, and then the rest is just put into special attack to hopefully do a lot of damage with Togekiss. So I think this spread honestly did fulfill both roles. I really did like it, and it was a really cool flex Togekiss spread. And here he is, the Big Daddy Magnet himself. Magnezone's spread and moveset is honestly quite basic. I'd say the real decision came in the item choice and its ability. There have been a ton of sturdy weakness policy Magnezones going around, and while I don't think that set is bad at all, I think that set relies on your opponent's carelessness, rather than a consistent strength of something like Expert Belt or Shuckleberry, right? We decided to run Analytic because Magnezone, we were going minimum speed to help us against Trick Room, and then Magnezone was very commonly the last thing attacking on the field, which means it gets the huge 1.3 times Analytic boost. And then at first we were running Expert Belt, like I just said, which was doing great damage. But the thing is when Magnezone was hitting something super effectively, they were dropping, you know. Togekiss was dying to Max Lightnings, and Lapras was not dying to Max Lightnings, whether we were Expert Belt or not. So honestly, the Expert Belt just wasn't completely necessary. It was more of we wanted some damage, and we've already got our Life Orb taken, stuff like that. But so after kind of playing more with the team, Excadrill was becoming a real problem, and then we'd always have to worry about like a rogue ground move on something. It's like, oh man, if this Rillaboom has high horsepower, we're in trouble. Stuff like that. So Shuckleberry just made those matchups that much easier, that much more consistent, and honestly like a weight off our shoulders knowing that we have the insurance of being able to live that one attack. So I honestly loved Shuckleberry. We have double Intimidate and max Steel Spike boost, so Magnezone was really physically tanky, and then we could just hit back with a big body press on those ground types, steel types like Excadrill, and just take them out. So the Shuckleberry, I definitely recommend, and I really liked it. Last but certainly not least is the king of redirection, Amoonguss. Like I mentioned earlier, we were max speed, focus, sash, Amoonguss. Just the presence of Amoonguss being on your team is going to scare people from setting up Trick Room. They think that you're a min speed Spore Amoonguss, and I mean, they don't know what our EV spread is, and sometimes they don't want to take the risk to find out. So this set really caught a ton of people off guard and was honestly amazing. I would say the big decision on this team was what attack to run on Amoonguss. I think Spore, Rage Powder, and Protect are all pretty much necessary when you're running an Amoonguss in most situations, but we decided to go with Pollen Puff just because we have so many kind of bulky sweeper attackers. You know, Dragapult would love to get healed, Gyarados would love to get healed, Magnezone, and Togekiss, you know? But the thing is when you are this really fast Amoonguss, getting fast attacks off can be honestly super clutch. Like, you know, going max speed and hitting those fairies with a big Sludge Bomb, you know, Amoonguss has respectable special attack. And so, while Pollen Puff was really clutch, it did come in handy a ton of times. I could honestly see Sludge Bomb taking over for Pollen Puff in the future just to do even more damage when necessary. So that was Amoonguss. Well, everybody, that was the Magnezone team that we used to get rank 27 on the ladder and got 7th in the Streamers Cup. I hope you guys enjoyed this vid and overview of my core, and hopefully it was useful and entertaining to you guys. I mean, the team does have some hard matchups. I would say standard Sand is pretty hard. T-Tar, Excadrill, Togekiss, Incineroar stuff. Goodra Comfy can actually be a big challenge, and then I would honestly even say Rain, you know, just standard Politoed Kingdra can also kind of be an issue too. But I think this core is really strong. You guys could take it in any direction you'd like, and I think you guys can make it even better. Magnezone is an amazing Pokemon, and so is everyone else on this team. Gyarados is kind of slept on right now. Really good mon. Guys, the rental code and payspin for this team will be down in the description for your viewing pleasure. But guys, that is gonna do it from me. Hope you guys had fun. Remember, guys, check me out on Twitch. Go drop a follow over there. I stream 5 days a week. It's always a great time. Drop a like on this video, guys, and I will see you guys next time. I love and appreciate you guys for watching these vids. Peace, everybody.